Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. I am Jeffrey Dunyan, CEO and founder of Safe Option Strategies. Glad to have you here. It is Thursday, June the 26th, 2025. U.S. stock market has been open for just about 30 minutes right now. And the markets are looking well and doing well this morning. The three major indexes are off to another good start. We are pushing very close, at least on the S&P, and that was one of the headlines this morning as I was turning on my computer and looking on a couple different websites and watching the news channels on the TV. The S&P is very close to a new all-time high, and isn't it interesting that just literally a couple of months ago we were so stressed and so worried about this sharp sell-off, and we got into not bear market territory, but certainly got into correction territory, and wobbled a little bit. And then look at this. That is just a little over a 2-month run right there from about the beginning of the third week of April, where things just turned around and took off. And now, I don't know if I can draw this line perfectly horizontal or not, but there's your all-time high right there for the S&P 500 that we hit back in February, and it's close. It's moving steadily there. We've got 30 minutes into the trading session. You get the Dow up close to 200 points. It has been over 200 points several times. The S&P up 26 and the NASDAQ up 85. Those are all in the neighborhood of 0.5%. And I've said this many times before. I love when we end the day of trading no worse than 0.5% to the downside, no more than 0.5% to the upside. It feels like a less erratic market when your average daily move is not much more than 0.5%. Now, don't get me wrong. I love it if I'm positioned more bullish in my trades, and we have a day where the Dow and the NASDAQ are respectively up. Oh, Jeff, sorry, I didn't know the screen. Thank you, Jeff. This has become a frustrating thing. GoToWebinar continues to, for no reason that I can explain, it just like stops sharing the screen. And if I don't, there's one spot on my dual monitors that if I see it, I can quickly correct it. But thank you for the heads up on that, because I did not see it. So I appreciate that quick message, Jeff. Let's see. All right. Anyways, I was talking about how, that 0.5% move to the upside or the downside, but I certainly, when I'm positioned bullish, I certainly enjoy those big, 500, 600, 800 points up on the Dow, 200, 300 points up on the NASDAQ. I'm not about to tell you that I don't enjoy when those things happen, and I can profit greatly from it, but it just, I don't know, you feel more in control. It's like, there's a thrill or a rush that comes from occasionally on a straightaway driving a car really, really, really fast. But, you can be on a well-paved highway and be driving around 80, 85 miles an hour, and you feel more in control, and you're making good progress. You're getting where you need to go. Things are going well. But you don't ever have that sense of being out of control. So, that's kind of what it feels like to me. NVIDIA had their big investor conference yesterday, and they reported some good things. They are back to being the most valuable company in the world. I don't know how many trillions of dollars, but it's a lot. They are up another percent today, up at about 160 or so. The NVIDIA trade that we have open is looking, absolutely fantastic. And we have short calls that have once again moved in the money. They expire at the end of this week. They're in the money. We're going to adjust those for tomorrow morning's market open. In fact, I'll tell you right now, right here, if you were in this NVIDIA trade and had the expiring 150 strike short call for tomorrow, if you were to buy to close that right now and sell to open, I would jump. In this instance, I would jump right out to July 18th. NVIDIA is already trading, over 156, so I would go up to 160, and you're gonna have to pay about $2.50 a share for it. I think a $10 move up in the strike price and moving it out a full month, I personally think that's worth $2.50. Now, some people might not. When you're spread trading, it's nice to never spend more money or add a debit. But I actually like the idea, even doing it, today while the market is open. Today's the 26th, isn't it? I like the idea of maybe doing that while the market is open right now, moving that out to the 160 and going out to the July 18th expiration, I think would be a good idea. I think I'll send that out to everyone in the program this morning. Once I'm done with this, I'll put together a PDF and put that on the website and send that out. I expect NVIDIA is just going to keep going higher, and I might even look at jumping right out to August on this one, going to the August monthly options, and maybe going a little bit higher with this, maybe going up to 165, 170. I'll take a look at those numbers and see what we get, but we're going to pay a little bit to roll this out because it went in the money so quickly, and that's okay. We'll take it. We'll take the move up. Palantir also doing very, very well. I'll come back and finish this NVIDIA after I finish the podcast. Palantir not trading above the strike price of our short call. We set that out a little farther in time and up a little bit higher, but Palantir still improving, adding money to our portfolio every day. We like it. We'll take it. Micron is the most interesting thing to me this morning because Micron had a really good earnings report. They were up a couple percent right in the opening moments of trading, but Micron is trading to the downside now. And I really think that in spite of a good earnings, they were just so overbought. I think Micron and people that invest in Micron were in the difficult position of having had such an amazing bullish run up for these previous 3 weeks. It just created a scenario where it was difficult to say the least. You could almost say it was impossible for Micron to live up to the expectation. I'm glad to see Micron back in this 125, 130 range. But it was a lot to ask for them to have such good numbers that in spite of being so overbought to think that they could continue up. I think there's a tiny bit of letdown in not having even bigger blowout numbers than what they had. There I lost my screen again, but I saw it this time. I'm able to get it right back. I just think that's kind of where Micron finds themselves. And I don't think this is something to worry about long term. As it relates to our trade, believe it or not, it's kind of a good thing for our trade. I don't know if we're still up. We were up a little bit just a short time ago because we had the nearer term short calls losing money so quickly that those short calls are both very, very profitable. And they were at one time a little bit more so than the long options. The short puts and the short calls were losing value much faster than the long puts and long calls, and we were therefore a little bit profitable. That may not be the case now. I'm refreshing this, and Micron's down a little farther right now than it was when I was looking at it just previously. Now there you can actually see we're still a little bit profitable on this. I am thinking, and I'll make a decision soon, probably within a few minutes after I finish this podcast, I will make a decision on whether or not to maybe take a small profit. This is only 6%, and I've seen it as high as 8 or 9%. I've seen it as low as being a little tiny bit negative. But I'm tempted on this Micron trade. We're doing so good this year in the portfolio overall. I'm tempted to maybe take a 6 or 7 or 8% return and jump out of this trade. There is a little bit of concern that maybe Micron sort of stagnates in this area for a week or so. And I don't think it will stay there long enough to put 718 expiration long options in jeopardy of it either not, climbing higher than where we need it to or slipping back down. But I kind of like the idea of not having to worry about that and not being in that position where we're stressed out about that. So I'm leaning a little bit towards if we could get out with 6, 7, 8% profit. That means setting a tight limit order and being disciplined and staying with that limit order. So I'll take a look at that when we're done as well. Our Amazon trade improving still, and our CrowdStrike trade improving. So we're looking good on CrowdStrike is having a nice day up today, about 1%, but that's almost a $5 move to the upside. So I like what CrowdStrike is doing right now. I sent out a whole bunch. I sent out 4 collar trade adjustments last night. We adjusted. Here's the adjustment we made for Bank of America. We rolled clear out to the January 16, 2026 50 strike short calls to get those out of the money. Cinched up our long puts, got them a couple weeks past the earnings date, and got them right up closer to the money. We did something similar with NVIDIA, only we didn't have to go quite as far out in time on the short calls. We were okay with where we were at on Palantir, although I might decide to adjust that now because it's getting closer to the 150. I held off on adjusting Snap. Snap was one of the few that I didn't feel the need right away to make an adjustment to. We're still set pretty good on Snap with where strike prices and expiration dates are. And then I adjusted SoFi. You can see it's loading up here. But SoFi, we rolled out to September, got our short calls up out of the money, got our long puts right at the money, and took them out to August so that they're well past earnings. I'm still looking at possibly doing an adjustment really soon on Uber. Ford is good where it's at. No need to adjust Ford right now. And I think that covers Snap, Palantir. They were good where they're at. So all of those collar trades of mine filled this morning. I might go back in and adjust these actual fill prices. They might be off a little bit from what I was looking at last night, but they all filled for me this morning. And so we're seeing a little bit more sell off on Micron as I'm talking here. They're now down almost 2%. And they started the trading day up almost 2%. So Micron, the sell-off on Micron a little bit heavier, but don't think that's hurting our trade. So I think we're still in good shape. Triple play, our AMD Long Iron Condor. AMD started the day today down a little bit. I think, they are still down a little bit. And I'm not stressed or worried about this in any way, shape, or form. They were overbought. It's a little bit of profit taking. It's not something to get worked up about or get upset about. I think AMD is going to be absolutely fine. I think it's a good trade to have added to our triple play positions. We're doing, and Google. Google is on the move to the upside, at least it was. Let me see if it still is. Earlier today, Google's on the move to the upside. I think we're going to get that full technical crossover, and then I think it's off to the races, and I think we're going to be great on this Google trade. So all in all, I think everything looking good. I'll let you know soon if I decide I want to bail out on Micron and take a small profit there. Otherwise, I think everything is looking very much the way we want it to. So I'm going to wrap up with that. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, about 30 minutes after the open of the market. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.